with this now, many young women and men feel pressure to enter into marriage and long-term commitments. That's according to Unathi Mabunda. She advocates for less pressure and for young people to be given more time to decide whether that's the road they want to go down. Unathi has published her first book, Girls Prepare, Boys Show Up. She joins us now for more. Thank you for your time this afternoon. So what essentially sparked this conversation or this debate that you wanted to have with the world?
All right. Thank you so much for having me, and greetings to you and all the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. So the conversation started from my own quest of wanting to find out, as a young woman, who am I outside the institution of marriage? Because girls are told one of the best days of your life is the day that you get married. And my child, if you act right, if you do this right, someday some boy will come and ask for your hand in marriage. And thus you start preparing. So the title of the book and the quest to write this book came from my own quest of wanting to find my place in the world and who I am, outside the institution of marriage.
You argue in the book that it's not everybody that will get married.
Yes, I really do believe that not all of us are meant to get married, and just the ideology of the 2x2 notion, as beautiful as it might be, it's just not realistic. Who's going to marry everybody? As part of the research in writing this book, I came across a news report, or a report rather, the 2018-2019, I'm talking about South Africa now, World Prison report says we had 164,000 prison male inmates, and of that staggering number, only 4,200 were women. And that tells you the gap that those men that are incarcerated are living in society. And we're looking at people who are now saying, I am lesbian, I'm gay, I'm this. For every 2 gay men that you meet, you're having 2 sisters who are losing their own husband. So basically, I'm trying to say we're having so many things that are challenging the 2x2 notion. How about we start respecting each other and valuing each other based on our contribution to society, not necessarily based on our marital status? Because basically marriage gives you status. That's what we all long for.
You have a story of a friend of yours who has achieved quite a lot in her career, and then she goes back home and she has a conversation with her father. He pulls her to the side and says what?
He pulls her to the side and says, my child, as much as you're an engineer, you now have your MBA and you're under 30, we are so happy. But I need you to know that unless you're married, then you're not going to, society will not give you the dignity that you deserve. So everything that you have worked so hard for will not necessarily be commemorated. So you need to get married. I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about your status and how people view you, because your lack of marriage is reflecting bad on us as your parents. That's how society views the whole, girl has to get married in order to be accepted or to be seen as a woman who has dignity, basically.
And when you say boys show up, you mean?
When I say boys show up, I mean from the age of 4, and this is a cross-cultural divide anywhere in the world. From the age of 4, a little girl will be told a good woman does not speak like that. They don't laugh like that. So you basically in what I deem a marriage readiness program, whereas boys are left to go play in the streets with their friends. We are told, do this. So we're literally preparing for marriage, whether we believe it or not, or whether we were aware of it or not. But we have been conditioned to know that everything that I do has to be somehow be linked into the wife that I'm going to be. So that's what I mean by boys show up. And because you've been in this marriage readiness program, at some point when you study towards whatever degree or whatever certificate, you need to graduate. And marriage is seen as that ceremony, as a graduation ceremony. In most cases, we usually say yes to the first boy who asks our hand in marriage, because everybody wants to graduate at some point.
It's Oprah Winfrey who said, when you know better, you do better. Now that you know better, what then is your suggestion?
Now that I know better, that's why I wrote this book, to say I don't want to be the only one who has come to the knowledge to say there is much more to life than getting prepared for marriage. We need to live our best lives today. as wonderful as marriage is, and I'm not saying I'm not anti-marriage, humanity comes from marriage, and we'll never understate the importance of marriage. However, there are other milestones that we can achieve in our lives, and that's why I wrote this book, to speak to parents, to speak to the young at heart, to speak to every little girl out there, to say there is so much that you can contribute to humanity. Not necessarily, you're not, as the Bible says, a woman is meant to help, and the identity of a woman is a helper. Whether you are helping within marriage or whether you are helping your country, you're helping your community, that's who we are. We are helpers, and that should not be limited to you helping a spouse.
Unathi Mabunda, Girls Prepare, Boys Show Up, and that is the book that she has penned. Thank you for your time.